What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of 5 on 5. I'm your host, Howard Bender. This is Fantasy Alarm TV, and as you can see, my guest today for 5 on 5, none other than the always well-dressed Ryan Hallam, who says a quarantine puts you in sweatpants and a t-shirt all day long. Ryan, what's going on, man? Welcome in. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you. It's the first time I've actually worn something that wasn't gym clothes since, I don't know, probably the beginning of March. So I figured I'd class this up a little bit and give myself, put myself together for once.
You look like a middle school basketball coach right now.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was going for.
Is that? Well, there you go. Are those dogs on your tie?
I did this just for you, Howard. Yeah, these are dogs on my tie. They're black dogs. I know you don't have a black dog. I have two black dogs. So this I wear. My wife's involved in the local SPCA, so whenever we have events, this is what I usually tend to wear to, be part of the cause.
All right. Well, you know what? Black Dog does actually have a little special spot in my heart. Black Dog, was it Porter from the Dixie Jazz Brewing Company? Down in New Orleans. Oh, no, it's Black and Voodoo. That was theirs. Black Dog was a different brewery. In any event, that's a whole other story. What we're doing here is a game called 5 on 5. This is where I have 5 topics, and our lovely guest, who's so handsomely dressed, I have to say, you think you're better than me. Mandelbaum. Has 5 minutes for each topic. Now, you can take the whole 5 minutes with a diatribe, but if you come up short, you're opening up the floor for me to ask you some questions, maybe poke some holes in your theories here and there. So you got the game, Ryan?
I'm ready to go, baby.
All right. At the 5-minute mark, just so you know, you're going to hear me say, you might actually hear me go, whatever the case may be. That's the buzzer. You're cut off at that 5-minute mark, and we move on to the next topic. So, without further ado, let me get my trusty stopwatch ready. And here we go. It will start after I ask you the first question. Ryan, you're known for your bracket challenge, and you just did a comedy movie madness of 64 of the top movies. In the finals, Caddyshack beats Old School, two amazing classics. I got to know from you, does Caddyshack deserve that win? And if not, why should Old School have come out on top?
It was definitely two classics, like you said, one from the 80s, one from the 2000s. You're a little bit older than me, but not too much. So we both definitely saw Caddyshack in its time. Great movie, tons of good quotes. If I had a vote, which I didn't vote on any of these polls, I would have voted for Old School. It is just a classic with so much quotable. Will Ferrell just on his own with the My Boy Blue and the KY wrestling and just everything about it. Everybody's going streaking. It's just trying to pass the bread maker off to his friend's kid that he got for his wedding.
It's got 3 speeds.
That's great. Vince Vaughn trying to talk him out of getting married as his wife was coming down the aisle. You could go on and on and on. The Bed Bath & Beyond. It's just such a good movie. Caddyshack is great also. It won by about, I think it was 2/3 of 1%. It was an incredibly close vote. But I would like to hear your opinion as well. So I'm not going to take the whole 5 minutes. Let's debate about this a little bit, unless you agree with me.
I don't really think I need to debate it. They are great movies, but let's pin it again. So you would have voted for Old School, which is really what it comes down to, because my opinion doesn't matter. I voted, and that's just it. But I always keep the right to vote as a private moment for me here. So let me ask you. Let's go quote for quote then. Well, first off, can you tell me what the final line of the movie Caddyshack is?
I cannot. No. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Really?
No.
Really? You're coming on this show to talk about your movie madness stuff, and you haven't recently seen Caddyshack? The final line of that movie is, "Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid." That was the last line of that movie, which made it the ultimate 1980 classic. Bill Murray as Carl Spackler. Come on. The cross hybrid between the Kentucky Blue and the Sensimilia. Like, you can play 18 holes on it and then roll it up and smoke it at the end. Come on, man. Come on. You're telling me Old School is better than that so far?
Yes, I am. There's just so much to it. I mean, then you get cheese, and you get the test at the end where they're all cheating, and Will Ferrell tries to jump through the flaming hoop, and he lights himself on fire. I didn't even get to the whole therapy session where he's talking about what color the waitress's panties might be. I mean, we can keep going so deep in Old School. I feel like it's just 90 some odd minutes of just one laugh after another.
Night putting with the dean's daughter. Come on. Na 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 na. Ba 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 ba. Na na na. Oh, Danny, no, you don't. Maggie, I do. No, you don't. Come on, man. Like, match me here. Match me.
What about the tranquilizer darts? Like, I like you. You're crazy, but I like you. Like, yeah, you just took a dart in the jugular, man. Come on. Obviously, we know who you voted for.
And I said, hey, Lama, how about, a little something for the effort there? And he said, there will be no money, but on your deathbed, you will receive total consciousness. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
I'm so hindered by the fact that this being a family show, there's some stuff that I don't know that I should even talk about, but...
Well, why don't you change your pronoun? What are you talking about? What is that? It's time, dude. Are you kidding me? You're gonna lose on the first one to me. You're not even gonna be able to convince me that Old School is better than Caddyshack.
I don't know what I'm losing here. I think
it's a parking lot. Hey, look, orange balls. Oh, nice hat. Get a free bowl of soup with a hat like that. Come on.
What about earmuffs? What can you say when you say earmuffs? That's what I'm talking about. I can't say. What did Blue say when he wants to ring the bell for KY wrestling? I can't say that either. What about when they're all sitting with the cinder blocks tied to them? I can't talk about that one. So it's a little bit different where we try to keep this on the up and up. But there's a lot more to go for Old School. I think it was not a slam dunk winner. I'm happy it was close. I thought it was both were very good. I know Caddyshack beat Happy Gilmore, which I was really shocked to see that coming out of the 90s bracket. And pretty much 2010, there wasn't very many good ones at all. So I knew Old School was going to cruise to the final. It was just a matter of, Caddyshack could take it. It's a toss-up. Maybe it is a generational thing. Maybe you are a little bit older than me. Maybe that's why Old School is mine and Caddyshack is yours.
Judge Smells. Gambling is illegal at Bushwood. And name me one character in Old School, all right, because you already gave your Frank the Tank love, who is better than Judge Smells.
What about...
Sorry, that's time's up there. You lose. Good try. You know where that one went? Right in the lumberyard.
There you go.
Next topic coming up here for Ryan Hallam. Here you go. 5 quarterbacks, since you're doing the quarterback work right now, 5 quarterbacks you won't touch in drafts this season, and you're not allowed to just pick the crappy ones.
I can't say Tyrod Taylor. That was where I was going. Tyrod Taylor. No. All right, let's go right off the top. And the first one is going to be basically an ADP situation, and that's going to be Lamar Jackson. Love the guy. Clear MVP. Ran for like 1,400 yards last year. Threw 36 touchdowns. He just did it all. It's going to cost you a second-round pick, and that is where, we preach wait on quarterbacks. And to grab a guy in the second round, to me, is just ill-sighted. There's just so many, especially running back. It just drops off so fast. To take a quarterback in the second round, as good as he is, I just can't do Lamar Jackson. So good. This is nothing away from his talent whatsoever. But the second round value, I just can't do it. So Lamar Jackson will be my number 1. Number 2 is going to be, and I think the only reason the news was as big as it was is because of this quarantine runner. I'm not touching Tom Brady. I don't care that he gets better weapons. I know he's in Tampa Bay and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are there. But if you watched him at the end of last season, the man could not throw the ball 5 yards down the field with any sort of accuracy whatsoever. I don't know if there was an injury. I would figure it would have come out by now somehow. I know the Patriots are very close-lipped anyway, but Howard, he couldn't beat the Dolphins in the last week of the season at home to clinch a bye. I know the Dolphins were on a little bit of a roll at the end, but that was everything I needed to see. They couldn't beat a terrible team at home. Brady should have been able to do it himself. Any other year, it would have smoked the Dolphins, and then they go and lose to the Titans, who are on a little bit of a Cinderella ride. But man, what I saw from Brady last year is he's shot. He's 43 years old, can't play forever. He's not going to be able to chuck the ball down the field to Mike Evans the way he wants it. It's going to be a lot of Chris Godwin and hopefully O.J. Howard if Bruce Arians will let him have a meaningful role. But I don't want part of Tom Brady at all. Number 3 is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Just, we know the name, MVP. I definitely like the guy, but his stats and his play are definitely fading over the past couple of years. Unless they draft a receiver, they have one. And his name is Devontae Adams, and that is it. Jace Sternberger, tight end, doesn't do it for me. Marcus Valdes-Scantling couldn't even get on the field at the end of last year. And their big free agent acquisition, Devin Funchess. Stop me when I start saying anyone that excites you at all. I mean, Aaron Jones is great out of the backfield, but you got one guy, and his stats haven't been good. He's living off stats from 5 years ago, and he's still going as the 6th, 7th, 8th quarterback off the board. You will not see me drafting Aaron Rodgers. Number 4, I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. He's a little off the radar. He's a second-tier guy, more of a super flex or 2-quarterback league guy. But in the beginning of the season, the Vikings just decided they weren't going to throw the ball. And then, later on, they lost Adam Thielen for a big chunk of the time, and now Stephon Diggs is gone. And Tajay Sharp is not a good substitute. I'm sorry. That was not an even spot. He's pretty bad. He's kind of the same receiver as Thielen, so I'm not really sure the point of bringing him in. He's not a big, deep threat like Diggs was. Kyle Rudolph is getting older. It's Dalvin Cook's offense, and that's what it is. And Kirk Cousins, while decent at times, I'm sure they'd love to have that $90 million guaranteed back. I don't even really want him in super flex leagues. I'm staying away from Kirk Cousins. And my final, and this one pains me, really pains me, because I love the guy, is Deshaun Watson. I saw you talking with Adam in another show about Will Fuller. And again, unless they draft someone, Will Fuller is their number 1 receiver. And then when Will Fuller gets hurt in 3 weeks, Kenny Stills is their number 1 receiver. Trade was awful. He has a terrible offensive line. David Johnson, we're going to talk about him a little later, I know. Not a great running back at this point in his career. I love Deshaun Watson. He can make a lot of things happen with his feet. But, man, if you have no weapons around, he's got a triumvirate of crappy tight ends. It's just no weapons. He can't do everything by himself. Even Russell Wilson has Tyler Lockett or, now DK Metcalf. I love Watson, but, man, it seems like it's going to be a rough season for him trying to get some fantasy production.
It definitely does seem like it's going to be a rough season for him. No doubt about that. We will talk about David Johnson. All right, so Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson. I have a hard time picking apart any of those guys there, so I'll leave it be. I will leave it be for right now, and I'll just watch the clock turn. And 4, 3, 2, 1. So handsome! Look at you, Ryan Hallam, everybody. Ryan Hallam. Here we go. Number 3. Here you go. I need to know the best quarantine snacks found at the Hallam house.
It's been that kind of time. Everybody's either exercising 24 hours a day or eating 24 hours a day. So it's been one or the other. So let's talk about some things. I was able to try for the first time, and I've always heard people like Wendy's French fries in a Frosty. I've always thought that sounded disgusting. I don't know if you're a person who's tried that before.
Nah.
I did French fries in a milkshake. It didn't do anything for me. I thought it was kind of disgusting. So that's definitely not one of them. But I don't really have a sweet tooth, Howard. I'm more of a salty, savory, cheesy guy. So like ice cream, it's okay. Cakes, it doesn't really do much for me. But the big snack I've been really having is the pepperoni, cheese, and cracker company. Yeah, there you go. I definitely have those. But the wheat thins, the pepperoni, and the cheddar cheese slices, that's kind of been my jam lately.
Wait, they sell those together? That's like a snack pack, or you got to create your own?
You got to create it. Yeah,
I'm low maintenance as far as like having to actually like prepare something here.
I mean, you can get everything sliced already at this point. We have the technology for the sliced cheese, the sliced pepperoni. But I like the pepperoni stick and slice it myself. The stuff that's in the package, it's all white. It's probably been in there for 2.5 years. I need a little something better. So, yeah, you get just a nice stick of pepperoni, slice it up, and the cheese comes sliced already. You can do that. And throw it on a couple wheat thins or Triscuit crackers, whatever you like. That's my jam. But for those of you who don't want to be 3,000 pounds when this is over, I also like goldfish. If you didn't know this, and a coworker of mine turned around, like 43 of those guys are like 100 calories. So if you're like really just like binging snacks, goldfish will help keep your pants fitting you a little bit longer.
What's the go-to goldfish flavor?
I go cheddar. My kids have found these s'mores that they eat like the bag less.
Ew,
like
what?
It's like graham cracker goldfish, and then chocolate goldfish, and then little marshmallow goldfish. So it's like 3 different ones in the pack.
Why?
It's actually pretty good.
I don't believe that. Convince me. It's a goldfish cracker. It's supposed to be savory. You can go cheddar blasted or Parmesan. You could even go with the pretzel goldfish. I don't even know if they still make those.
They definitely do. What about the pizza goldfish? Those are good too.
Fine.
Cheddar's my go-to, but they're
not supposed to be sweet though.
They put a whole line of sweet out. There's like fudge brownie and the small a couple others, like some vanilla thing. Like I said, it's the kids. Cheddar's my jam.
I feel like we've just been betrayed by Pepperidge Farm here right now. So I'm fine with the pepperoni stick. I'll slice it myself, the cheese and the wheat thin. Okay, great. Yeah. I'm fine with goldfish crackers of the savory kind. No. I'll say no as far as that goes. So keep snacking me. What else we got?
I will break my children's heart and tell them that you said no. I can't buy them anymore.
No. It's just fundamentally wrong.
All right. What about the spinach artichoke dip? We got one of those getting jammed up right now.
Oh, are you making that in a bread bowl?
No, we don't have a bread bowl. That's a good idea. Just send my wife out. Go get a bread bowl. We need a bread bowl for that dip.
Ma, the meatloaf.
Yeah. That's not old school, by the way, but at least
I know it's not.
I know you know it's not.
All right, so
Doritos is my all-time chip, though. If we're going chips, Doritos,
which one?
Nacho cheese. I like the Cool Ranch, but I'm a full-fledged nacho cheese guy.
Thoughts on taco-flavored Doritos?
I have not had those yet. I think the whole taco Dorito is the Taco Bell thing is kind of gross. Also, let's hit my kids up again. Hot Cheetos, I don't get that. The younger one loves them. I think it's kind of gross. It's like. Then she'll be like, my mouth. I'm like, why are you eating something that's literally making your mouth hurt? I don't know. I have weird.
Well, you said you didn't have a sweet tooth, so maybe Fireballs when you were growing up weren't your thing either.
I remember I burnt the inside of my mouth on one of those once when I was a kid, and I didn't really eat them so much after that. Brownies is the one sweet I can go with. They're you can't go wrong with the brownie, but I'm generally not a sweet guy.
Wow. Sorry to hear that for Mrs. Hallam. Then, I mean,
we all have our shortcomings.
Not a sweet guy. So really, that's the best quarantine snack so far you've given me are goldfish, and I got to slice up my own pepperoni stick for cheese and crackers.
I think it's pretty great. What do we need? What do you want? A lava cake with the brownie and the ice cream and the.
Now you're speaking my language. Sorry, we're all done with that topic now. Interesting. You're getting in shape with this quarantine, aren't you? You're using this time to your advantage, not for gluttony, huh?
I'm trying a little bit. I'm definitely not. My best snack in the house is certainly alcohol, but I didn't figure we were going to go down that route. But
let me make a suggestion to you. You ready for this one?
Absolutely.
Break your foot.
No, I saw you.
Sorry, I can't walk. I'm sorry, I can't exercise. I can't do nothing. I can sit here and eat and finish this shelter in place looking like Jabba the Hutt. So
that is perfect timing for you.
All right, let's get you back to some football here. Next topic. I got 3 running backs. I want to know who you like the most out of all of them, and then, obviously crap on the other 2 as much as you possibly can. Everybody's in a new home here. David Johnson now with the Texans. Todd Gurley now with the Falcons, though he still needs to pass that physical. Jordan Howard now with the Miami Dolphins. Go.
They said that they're very confident that Todd Gurley will pass that physical, though. But anyway, I'd love to crap on all three, to be honest with you. I don't love any of them in this situation. Let's start with David Johnson, since we already talked about him earlier. He's my worst of the three. And he's probably going to get drafted first of the three, but he's the one I want the least of. We talked about the Texans' offensive line already. Not very good. He's been really injured 2 of the last 3 years. I mean, last year when he came back, he couldn't even get on the field on the team that drafted him, and he's been on for 4 or 5 years and gave him a couple of like MVP type seasons. He was done. Kenyon Drake put him on the bench. Maybe he came back too soon. I don't know. But I have no faith in David Johnson at all. He hasn't averaged 4 yards a carry since 2016. Duke Johnson is still on the team, who obviously didn't break like a lot of people thought he would. But there's not a lot of positive to me for David Johnson. The only thing, he catches passes out of the backfield, which is nice. I don't have a lot of confidence that he's going to stay healthy. So he's the one I want the least. The guy I probably like the most, but he's not going to be the one that I'm going to say, is Jordan Howard. He doesn't have a lot of competition for carries. Anyone who watched football last year saw Patrick Laird and Kalen Ballage, and you threw up in your mouth on a weekly basis watching either of these two guys try to average 2 yards a carry. So it's not like he's got a lot of competition. I don't see the Dolphins drafting any running back at number 3 or no, they're at 5. I certainly don't see that happening. So it's not like he's going to get some great competition. If they bring in somebody, it's probably going to be a pass catcher, because that's not who Howard is. A lot of leagues are now PPR, which brings Howard down. I was looking; he was drafted. He's like RB like 35 right now, which is crazy. I know there's not a lot of drafts going on right now, but he's not bad. He's a plotter. He's a between the tackles kind of guy, but he certainly had success in the league. I know you called him for that 3-touchdown game last year. I think it was Thursday night on one of your playbooks. So he definitely has some talent there. There you go. However, Miami also doesn't have the best offensive line. They do have a good pass game to so the defense just can't line up and just bowl them over. So I like Jordan Howard. Todd Gurley is the third. I think his situation is the best. He has, again, no competition for carries. We watched Ito Smith and Brian Hill do absolutely nothing. They let go of Devonta Freeman. So it's not like he's got anyone who's looking to take the carries from him. He is a good pass catcher out of the backfield. He is in a pretty good offense. He's got a pretty decent offensive line. And as much as this arthritic knee is a problem, which we all know it is, which is what takes most of us away, he did have 15-plus carries in, I think, 5 of the last 7 games last year. So the Rams didn't completely just hand him with kid gloves. He had showed some durability. So it's not like he's toast. He's still fairly young. I think he's got a chance, especially in PPR leagues. The pass-catching ability is going to keep him over Jordan Howard. He's got a pretty decent knack for the goal line. So he's got a chance at a pretty good season. I don't love him. I don't love, counting on him. He's an RB2 at this point, in my opinion. Certainly not anyone that you're putting your fantasy hopes on. But I still think he can be pretty effective. So crapping on David Johnson. Wish Jordan Howard could catch a pass. Todd Gurley will probably be the one drafted first.
You're not worried about the Atlanta Falcons drafting a starting running back, somebody who they could pair up with him? I mean, it is an arthritic knee. They did have to, underutilize him in a major way in the beginning of the season. They shifted their offensive scheme a little bit and started to incorporate him more. But, I mean, do we really have confidence in this? How are the Rams going to start? Is the scheme going to be the same as the way it ended last season? And are they going to try and would the Falcons say, screw it, he was strong with 15 carries at the end of the season, let's run him in the early part?
Like you said, unless they draft somebody, I don't know what choice they have, but to give them the ball, because like I said, those other 2 guys are terrible. They're both terrible. I think there's a decent chance they draft a guy. I don't know that it'll be first, second round. Maybe it'll be someone a little later. Maybe it'll be a guy who's a little bit more of a up the middle kind of threat. But Gurley, even 15 carries a game, I still think will have some fantasy relevance. Like I said, he definitely can find the end zone. He's definitely at times he didn't look that bad last year, and that's not a ringing endorsement. Like I said, I would have crapped on all 3 of them if you gave me the opportunity. You asked me to pick one of the 3 that I think has the best chance to having a good year. I think Gurley's got the chance to have the best
Interesting.
Yeah, that's 5 minutes.
Interesting. Take away David Johnson's, broken wrist, that weird injury that, wasn't a leg or anything like that. Improve that offensive line over there in Houston. No love for him still. Interesting.
So you're worried about Gurley getting hurt, but not David Johnson.
Well, the wrist injury wasn't like a recurring thing, but an arthritic knee, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my concern. But then obviously the knee for DJ. I hear you. I mean, yeah, I didn't give you great options. I'm not saying I gave you great options, but sometimes we have to make a choice like that, Ryan. Sometimes we have to make that choice and say, do we go with this running back or do we invest in s'mores flavored goldfish?
I'm telling you, you got to give him a try. It's like $2.
I won't do it. I won't do it.
I'm going to
sacrilege.
I'm going to send you
sacrilege. You better raise those girls right, man, and take them away from them.
Well,
child abuse making them eat that.
That's you make me break their hearts.
Break them. Last one. Here we go. Let's have a little fun with this one, Ryan. The ball is in your court. The 5 worst college mascots. Go.
Not in my top 5, but I want to give a little shout out to the Ivy League for the worst possible nicknames. Cornell, the Big Red. Dartmouth, the Big Green. And Harvard is the Crimson. So apparently they're too busy curing cancer or whatever else at the Ivy League to come up with any kind of creative nickname whatsoever. Big Red, Big Green, and Crimson. But
I hate when curing cancer stifles creativity like that. What a shame. What a shame.
I really feel like Michigan really ruined it with the Wolverines. They didn't get Hugh Jackman at all. Like, they really missed the boat. I thought that was a no-brainer, especially with Marvel nowadays. But, all right, let's move into a few. I'm going to give 1 and 1A here to the Alabama Crimson Tide and St. John's Red Storm as two things that I feel sound more like my wife's weekly visitor than a college football and college basketball.
Weekly visitor? Weekly? Huh? It's supposed to be monthly, dude. Holy cow. You can't handle it. You wouldn't be alive right now if it were weekly.
Especially not while we're stuck in the house together. But yes, the Crimson Tide and the Red Storm are right up there with the Red Wedding from the Game of Thrones. Is all kinds of good euphemisms. But anyway, let's move on. The Virginia Tech Hokies is a turkey. I don't know what a Hokie is, and if we're supposed to be scared of Foghorn Leghorn, but Virginia Tech and the Hokies is certainly on my list.
Foghorn Leghorn was a rooster.
That's what it looks like. You got to go back and look at it. Let's go right from Foghorn Leghorn and his rooster to the Delaware Fighting Blue Hens, which is, nothing more scary than a fighting blue hen. I'm not really sure where they came up with that one. UMass, Howard. You know UMass?
No, what is were they the Minutemen?
That is the Minutemen, and that is another thing I heard out of your video with Adam. It's a personal problem, sounds like, but that's fine too. I'm right there with you.
It's like I tell the missus, sometimes these are just for me.
You know what, Howard? Sometimes we can get this. We can be back before the commercial break is over. Is a selling point.
We could. So those are your 5 worst: the Crimson Tide, the Red Storm, the Hokies, the Fighting Blue Hens, and the Minutemen.
I'm just getting started. The Syracuse Orange, what the hell is that? They just came up with a color? That's
Orange Men. They're guys who carry orange. Aren't the Orange Men the guys who are standing on the street corner, like with the bags of oranges, and they're selling them to you as you're driving by?
That's a great nickname, isn't it? About the Nebraska Cornhusker. I'm a Cornhusker a couple times a week during the summer when we're trying to do.
Matt Sells is probably going to put like a cover over your image right now. He's going to put like little devil horns on you.
He just moved there. He didn't live there his whole life. He can't. Maybe that's going to be his 4th favorite team.
Oh, well then why don't you why don't you talk about somebody else? Give me another team name that you hate so much.
The Tar Heels? I looked up to find out what the Tar Heels was.
It's a little racist.
It's not. That's what I thought at first too, and I wasn't going to say it. But then I looked it up. So apparently, way back when, people were forming like tar and turpentine out of sap, and they were doing it barefoot in North Carolina, and that's what they would get to everything on their foot while they worked. And now that's the the college mascot. They try to save it with a cool mascot because the horns with the ram. It's a pretty cool mascot. But if you really take the time to do Tar Heels, it's really stupid.
Interesting.
The Akron Zips. What the hell's a zip? It's I looked that one up too. That is short for zippers, it's not your pants zippers now. It's a rubber overshoe created by B.F. Goodrich. That's what they named the college after. So the Zips. The next time you see the Zips, that's what that is. So there's a lot of bad. I didn't even go like down the rabbit hole to like the California Santa Cruz banana slugs. I left that one alone.
Right. The Tulane Green Wave.
Yeah, I had the Horned Frogs, TCU, Southern Illinois.
Wow, what's wrong with the Horned Frogs?
That's a stupid Horned Frog. What is it? Something's jumping in your backyard. What is it?
Like the Aggies are any better, or the Wildcats are any better, or anything like that?
The Wildcats is the worst because every college is the Wildcats. There's like 55 colleges that are the Wildcats. I don't know. They've got to shut that off. I don't know if there's new colleges popping up, but if there is, there's no more Wildcats.
And what the hell's a Buckeye?
I don't know why they've got to put stickers on their helmets. I don't understand that.
It's a nut. It's a round nut, isn't it? All right. Well, there you go. Time's up, baby. Time is up. So there you go. So far, the 5 worst are the Crimson Tide, the Red Storm, the Hokies, the Fighting Blue Hens, the Minutemen. Quarterbacks he's not touching: Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson. That's going to do it for our broadcast here. I still can't get past this s'mores goldfish thing. I don't know why. I'm blown away and yet thoroughly disappointed. And somebody get me Bob Pepperidge on the phone here and find out what the hell's going on down on the farm. All right?
I would say I would send you to him, but Amazon probably wouldn't ship them right now because of
I wouldn't eat them. Sounds so gross. Blah.
It's actually pretty decent. I got to be honest.
All right. I'm going to walk away on that note there, and I'm going to go vomit in a bucket around the corner. That's going to do it for this episode of 5 on 5. The well-dressed middle school basketball coach, Ryan Hallam. You guys
Coach
know.
Hallam to you, sir.
Follow him on Twitter at Fighting Chance. And, of course, guys, Fantasy Alarm YouTube page, fantasyalarm.com on Facebook, at Fantasy Alarm on Twitter. You best be following all 3. Big thanks to Matt Sells, our producer today. I'm Howard Bender. This has been Fantasy Alarm TV's 5 on 5. We'll catch you next time.